Good evening. Welcome to the Township of Abington's Board of Commissioners meeting for Thursday, October 12, 2017. And may we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Cepeda?
Here.
Spiegelman?
Here.
Sanchez?
Here.
Rothman?
Here.
Myers?
Here.
Brodsky?
Here.
Schreiber?
Here.
Bowman?
Here.
Lucido?
Here.
Barron?
Here.
Gillespie? Hecker?
Here.
Kalinowski?
Here.
Klein?
Here.
Hoover?
Here. Please be advised, Commissioner Carol Gillespie is excused. And at this time, would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call on Vice President Stephen Klein for approval of the minutes, please.
Thank you, President Luker. I'd like to make a motion to approve the board meeting minutes for the Board of Commissioners meeting of September 14th, 2017, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners or staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion passes. At this time, I'd like to open the agenda up for comments from the public on agenda items only. Agenda items only. Yes, sir. Name and address for the record, please.
Scott Tatelman,
Could you bring the
1407
mic
Mill
up,
Road.
just?
Yeah, just bring the mic.
up to you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Scott Tatelman, 1407 Mill Road. You guys are going to discuss the stop at Morden and Mill tonight, right?
We are. It's on the agenda, but we take comments on agenda items before we actually go through the agenda on our full board meetings. So if you want to make a comment on that agenda item, now would be the time.
Yeah, my comment is that there needs to be, similar to East Court Street in Doylestown, speed humps. Not bumps, but speed humps to slow cars down. There are children all over that road now where there weren't 10 years ago. Cars pass me while I'm taking my trash cans out doing in excess of 70 miles an hour. So something needs to happen there. Those cars traveling at a high rate of speed have a tendency to hit the cars that are coming down Morden. The stop sign sits about 45 feet back off the road, so they stop, they slow down, they creep up, and then they get hit. That accident happened 2 weeks ago where 3 cars were wrecked, fluids all over the road, full airbag deployment. It's not a safe intersection as it is. Slowing the cars down is the first step, and then resolving that intersection itself is another.
Okay, thank you, sir. Did we get his name and address for the record? Okay, could you spell your last name, sir? Okay. Any other comments from the public on agenda items only? Thank you.
Laura Lehman, 1431 Bryant Lane. So a lot has happened between last time and now. As you may recall, I had a tug of war with the public safety chair, trying to get her to hear me to say that the important part of that intersection was people cutting the corner, and that while some of us agree, some of us don't agree, but stop signs certainly will calm things, they are not going to keep people from cutting the corner necessarily. So since I said that to her about a week ago, there was an accident in that intersection on the very thing that I was trying to express. It's almost beyond words that a public safety officer would cut you off when you're trying to say something like that.
I
Okay?
was wondering, is this the same intersection the gentleman was referring to?
Exactly that intersection. And that was just a couple of weeks before the great big airbag one, et cetera, was there. So we've, and I think I told you, I've worked on that intersection for a long time, tried to get them to make a no man's land where people would go around and away from each other, but instead they painted a curved line so they actually were encouraged to cut that corner. At the same time, the stop sign was back further than it needed to be, which is what I told you at the last meeting. And instead of hearing me and hearing what the things were that were other issues besides the stop signs, which may calm some things and may also address Mr. Tatelman's concerns to some degree. But the inability to have a public safety chair and a commissioner and other commissioners in the room that can change this dynamic is a serious issue in this township. So it's my understanding that now we are going to take away the curved line and that we are going to straighten that coming down the street further so it comes out to where you can see. I filmed it today, and what we were told last time about not being able to see when you're at the road just ain't so. I have it on camera, and I'll be glad to give any one of you a film of that. It's not so that you can't see when you're down in the right place. You certainly can't see when you're up at the stop sign, which is where our experts put their dynamic. So we have to work together. The biggest concern here is that when the two people who are the most, three people, because Mr. Tatelman's right there too, the three people or four people that are the most affected were not even told that the meeting was happening. Were not invited to share their comments. And you have an entire neighborhood who travels through that intersection more than once a day, almost every day, and nobody was asked. In fact, they were told that their opinions weren't even necessary to solicit. Can we change that, Commissioner Luker? Can we begin to work as a community where our input is valuable to you?
Well, we always strive for that means or that end, so I hear what you're saying, but thank you very much for your comments.
Well, I'm trying to point out some of the ways that it doesn't look like you're doing that, so maybe we can get them corrected. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, and thank you, sir, for yours. Any other comments from the public on items on the agenda? If there are none, at this time, I'd like to move forward and call on Commissioner Tom Hecker, Director of the Public Works Committee.
Thank you, President Luker. The Public Works Committee has one item of business this evening. This is PW1, and this is a motion to adopt resolution number 17-026, authorizing the Township of Abington to execute the 2017 to 2020 PA. Master Agreement for casting adjustments, and to authorize the Township Manager to sign the Master Agreement, project initiation form, and change order documents for the duration of the agreement, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners, from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Thank you, President Luker. That concludes our business.
Thank you, Commissioner Tom Hecker. At this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Ben Sanchez, Director of the Code Enforcement Land Development Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight we have CE1, Zoning Hearing Board Application 1707, Betawood Residential Partners, LLC. There's some background on this, which I will read and possibly editorialize a little, because that'll go into giving some explanation on it. The background: Betawood Residential Partners, LLC, filed a zoning hearing board application for dimensional variances for the proposed residential development of Betawood Shopping Center. This is a revised application from the appeal from the actions of the zoning officer denied in June of this year, and the pending conditional use application, which, by the way, the board had voted unanimously to oppose back in August of 2016, I believe. There's essentially two questions before the commissioners. Does the township want to oppose the Betawood zoning hearing application? My suggested answer would be yes, as the ward commissioner. Should we authorize the township solicitor to appear and oppose the application and approving the legal cost of opposition? Again, my suggested answer would be yes. And therefore, I would make a motion to authorize the township solicitor to appear at the zoning hearing board and to oppose the application 1707 of Betawood Residential Partners, LLC, and approve the legal cost of such opposition at this time. And I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Now, it was brought to my attention from Vice President Klein that Because this agenda item was not on the public, on the code enforcement agenda at the code committee level, it is open for comments from the public at this time. So if anyone has a comment that they want to make on CE1, you're welcome to come up to the podium now and speak. Please follow the 3-minute speaking rules for this.
So, on that note, by the way, even the item we was just speaking on, I believe, has changed from the dynamic that was presented at the last meeting. So when you cut out our opportunity to speak after each agenda item, that leaves us, I mean, the entire neighborhood did not know because the commissioner didn't inform them, so they had no ability to speak on that except for the 3 minutes at the beginning of the meeting. So in this particular case, we don't have, since we didn't have it before, we don't have the background. Why is it coming? My question would be, why is it coming for a vote right away? Why don't they put it through the proper process where they have to wait till the next committee meeting so that the residents can hear fully what the situation is?
Commissioner Luker? Mr. Pennikel is here to explain and answer that specific question.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
We should finish with our comments because she needs to sit down.
Ms. Lehman, could you sit
Yeah, I'll
down?
just
And
sit down.
Mark, could you identify yourself for those who are
Yes, sir.
viewing?
Commissioners, good evening. My name is Mark Pennikel. I'm currently your planning and zoning officer. This item is on your agenda this evening for the sole fact that the hearing is actually Tuesday, the 17th of this month. The application has been filed. Notices were sent to all the residents. The property's posted. The ad ran 2 consecutive weeks in the Times Chronicle. The proof of publication's downstairs. The reason it's in front of you this evening is strictly because it's time sensitive. If you wait to put this on your Code Enforcement Committee agenda for next month, you will have missed the hearing. If we wait for approval at next month's Board of Commissioners meeting, again, you will have missed the hearing. So the manager added CE1 to the agenda this evening to give you the opportunity, and Commissioner Sanchez the opportunity, as not only the ward commissioner, but also as the head of the Code Enforcement Committee, to bring this to your attention this evening, to solicit your votes, to hear your opinions on having the solicitor appear at Tuesday night's hearing in opposition to an application that, although it has changed, it's no longer an appeal to the actions of the zoning officer. They have revised the application. The number of items of relief of the original application was with 12 points of contention. Your dimensional variances that you now have on this application are down to 5. The ward commissioner felt strongly enough to have this on the agenda for your consideration. I can answer any other questions you may have.
Mark, you said residents were notified of this hearing.
Correct, sir. As with any zoning hearing board application, we kind of err on the side of the extreme. Notices were sent out more than 3 weeks ago. As I said to you, I already have the proof of publication in the zoning folder downstairs from the Times Chronicle. And again, the property is posted. Certification of posting was done almost 3 weeks ago at this point. I do that the day they're posted.
And the hearing is going to be in the boardroom?
The meeting is here. It's a 7 o'clock start next Tuesday evening in front of the zoning hearing board.
Any questions from commissioners?
Just to add on to that, Mr. President, I did notify the residents of Ward 7 on my mailing list of the hearing Tuesday evening, so tried to spread the word, and I believe others adopted that language and sent it out as well, so.
Thank you. Does the solicitor have enough time to get up to speed by Tuesday night on this project?
We do. This, Commissioner Myers, as you're aware, has been ongoing since last August. They filed their original application, and we opposed that, and the Zoning Hearing Board rendered a decision that was appealed. So the basic issues here we've been dealing with Mark for over the last year on this issue. And when the appeal came in, we've done everything we've needed to do to get ready in anticipation that the board would authorize us to oppose and that the board would take a vote to oppose. So we thought it best to be prepared, and that if you decided not to oppose, well, then we spend some time preparing that wasn't needed, but it was better to do that than to not be prepared for Tuesday night.
So this was not unexpected?
No, no.
Okay.
Commissioner Colorado.
Yeah, Commissioner Sanchez, residents concerned about this going forward? And if so, have they shared that with you?
Indeed, yes.
Thank you.
A lot of feedback on that, the density, I mean, you're familiar with the Baderwood Shopping
Yes.
Center too, and some of the surrounding development going on there now, and there's some that's completed, other stuff that's, in the works, so definitely a lot of feedback on that one.
So thank you. I would definitely take the advice of Mark Penical and Commissioner Sanchez with this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any comments from commissioners?
I have a question that's about the way this is written. Are we having one vote that covers both of these, or?
That's how I tried to frame the motion, if I did that
So if we
improperly.
vote for the motion, then we're voting for those two questions? at the
Correct.
same-
Yes.
We're not voting
I
three
believe that's
times.
the way they wrote, I believe that's the way they wrote the motion. Obviously, if you.
So if you have a yes vote, in other words,
Right.
on the motion, you're voting yes on the number
Right.
one and number two.
Right.
If you
Right.
vote no, you're voting no for one and two.
And to be clear, we did not give a recommended motion. We gave the two questions because frankly, I was not sure how your motion was going to go. We raised the two questions that are before you. Mr. Sanchez framed the motion incorporating both of these questions. So the short answer is yes. If you vote yes, you're voting for both of these in the way he framed the
If you vote
motion.
no, you're voting no on both of them. Okay, just want to make sure.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Penical.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Lehman, you want to continue? Ms. Lehman?
Let her continue.
Ms. Lehman, you still had some time. Yeah, still had 2
The
minutes.
one question I guess I would ask is if it was advertised 3 weeks ago, why was it not on the Code Enforcement Committee agenda?
It was advertised for the zoning hearing board requirements.
There are two separate
Two separate things
processes.
here.
Okay, all
Two
right.
separate processes.
Okay, so in the meantime, what changed that brings it here? Just the need for the solicitor to defend?
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, any other comments? Okay, hearing none.
No, not yet.
Okay. At this time, we'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President and Commissioners. That concludes the business of the Code Enforcement and Land Development Committee for this evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Sanchez. At this time, Commissioner Lori Schreiber, Chair of the Public Safety Committee.
Thank you, President Linker. PS1 is a motion to consider proposed ordinance 2143, creating tax incentives for members of the Abington Township Fire Department and Montgomery County Second Alarmers, EMS, and motion to advertise ordinance 2143 for adoption at the December 14th, 2017 regular public meeting, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Commissioner Myers?
Thank you. Commissioner Gillespie, in her absence, asked me to relay to everyone how much in favor she is of this motion. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from commissioners? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
PS2 is a motion to authorize township officials to accept a grant award from the Bureau of Highway Safety and Traffic Engineering in the amount of $55,000, with the township's matching portion approximately $480, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments from commissioners? Staff? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
And PS3 is a motion to adopt ordinance number 2144, amending Chapter 156, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Traffic Regulations, Section 14, Stop Intersections, Article 3, Parking Regulations, Section 25, Parking Prohibited at all times, no parking between signs, no parking here to corner, parking prohibited except certain hours, no stopping or standing, and Section 27, Parking Time Limited. Ordinance number 2144 will establish the following: stop signs on Davisville Road at London Road, northbound and southbound. Stop sign on Hemlock Circle, northbound at Canterbury Road, east intersection. Stop sign on Hemlock Circle, northbound at Canterbury Road, west intersection. Stop sign on Mill Road at Morden Road, both directions, three-way stop signs, Sewell Lane at Cherry Lane, no parking on the south side of Windsor Avenue from North Hills Avenue at 79 feet east of North Hills Avenue. Ordinance number 2144 will repeal the following: Old York Road, Old Section at Temple Beth Am, no parking on Tuesday 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., and on Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners?
Yeah, I just want to.
Comments? Okay, Commissioner Klein.
Yeah, thank you, President Luker. So to address a couple things, Mr. Talon talked about the speed on Morden Road. And that was part of the conversations with the police department. There was a recent speed study done on Morden Road, and the 85th percentile, which is what they look at, was 39 miles an hour, which is only 4 miles over the posted speed limit. Does not constitute a speeding issue on that road. Plus, the road is 35 miles, and it does not, under the regulations, doesn't allow for speed humps. They will continue to do speed enforcement, but as I said, the speed study does not appear that there is they don't consider a speeding issue until it's 10 miles or more over the speed limit at the 85th percentile.
Can I comment on this?
Let me finish, and that would be up to the chair of the meeting. I did meet with some neighbors and answered some of their questions, and I did want to respond to one thing. This was a public safety issue. It was brought to my attention, which I brought to the police department's issue, and there are sightline distance issues. It is evident when you go out there and go off of the measurement properties that the police department used to take a look at sight distances. They also looked at the crash data, and both of those warrant stop signs at all three intersections. We could have all the conversations we want with neighbors about the situation, but the stop signs are warranted, and it is a public safety and therefore a liability for the township, which is why the stop signs were going up. I did have subsequent conversations with the streets department, and they are going to look at the possibility of squaring off or making a pure three-point intersection at Morden and Mill to move the stop sign up from Morden Road closer to Mill Road. And with that, I'm finished.
Okay. Any other questions from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes.
And PS4 is a motion directing the police department to donate to the Bikes for Tykes program, care of Sussman Automotive, all unclaimed bicycles and bicycle parts which have been confiscated and are being held by the department, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments from commissioners or staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
And that concludes our agenda this evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Schreiber. Commissioner John Spiegelman, Chair of the Public Affairs Committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Public Affairs has one item tonight, and that is PA1. This is the Mr. Franz Greet field naming request for Rosalind Park Soccer Field. Mr. Franz Greet field naming request for Rosalind Park Soccer Field. It is the hope that this request will be approved, as it has the support of Commissioner Thomas Bowman, Parks and Recreation Director Andrew Oles, over 800 former players, past and current residents of the Roslyn community. This request was brought forward by the Roslyn Boys and Girls Club, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
President Luker, this concludes the business of the Public Affairs Committee.
Thank you, Commissioner Spiegelman, and thank you, Mr. Mark Penicow. At this time, I'd like to call on Vice President Stephen Klein, Chair of the Finance Committee.
Thank you, President Luker. First, I'd like to call on Treasurer Jay Blumenthal for the Treasurer's report.
Thank you, Commissioner Klein. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to actually flip my report around and give the information dealing with the deposits of real estate taxes and fees transferred to the Finance Department. For the month of September, we have a total of $237,000. It was transferred up. Now, I wanted to make a note that this includes $217,852, which was a collection of an interim bill from one of our large parcel holders. So this in a way skews the amount collected, whereas it was an abnormal happening. And that gives us a year-to-date total of $26,582,916, with a balance to collect of $526,879. Now, that also brings us, compared to September of 16, with an increase of $206,457. So then when you go over to the departments, the various department deposits into Republic Bank, this also includes that amount of money. So if we look at a year, at the month of September, we have $3,907,088 compared to last year of $4,517,454, which is a decrease for the month actually of $610,366. And if you look at the year-to-date, we have an increase of $75,749. That's my report.
Thank you, Treasurer Blumenthal. FC1, motion to A, approve the August expenditures as previously circulated to the board in the amount of $2,540,536.51, and salaries and wages in the amount of $1,863,883.15. And B, to authorize the proper officials to sign vouchers in payment of bills and contracts as they mature through the month of November 2017, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. May I have a roll call, please?
Yes.
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 FC2, motion to approve the advance and travel expense activity for August 2017 as previously circulated to the board. Advance and travel expense reports were $0 and $2,573.03 respectively. 8-month expenses totaled $20,452.12, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
FC3, motion to approve the clearing fund, the deferred revenue expense activity and petty cash balances for the month of August as previously circulated to the board. Clearing fund receipts and disbursements for the month of August 2017 were $20,236.32 and $19,513.77 respectively. Deferred revenue expense receipts and disbursements for the month of August 2017 were $173,593 and $146,889.30 respectively, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
And that concludes the Finance Committee agenda.
Thank you, Vice President Klein. That concludes our formal agenda, so at this time, I'll open the meeting for public comment on non-agenda items. Non-agenda items.
You get up. It doesn't matter.
Sir?
Yeah, thank you. I'm not an expert in how local government works, so I don't know what the process is, Steve, for, making the decision on what's going to happen at that intersection. So what is the expectation? Like, when will we know? Will there be any more open discussion regarding it?
The stop signs will go up as far as the ordinance is concerned. I'm waiting to hear back from the Streets Department and Public Works and have a conversation with the manager's office, and we'll figure out what we can do as far as turning. They have to look into the issue. They have to look into the bus traffic going through there, which was something that was brought up by the Streets Department when I met with them.
Making the corners, you mean, right?
Making the corners and making sure we don't pull that too far, so.
Okay, and then regarding the actual road itself and the study, I understand that the police officers have a lot of stuff to do. They have limited periods of time where they can actually take these snapshots of what's going on at that moment. At different times of the day, the speeds are way in excess of 4 miles an hour and outside the 85th percentile. Is that a township road, a state road, a county road? Do you know exactly?
I believe Mill Road is a township road, but they do it over a 3-day period of time.
Okay, because if it's a township road, my understanding is if there's no sidewalks, it can't have a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit if it's a residential township road.
I'm not sure of that regulation. I can't answer to that. But the speed study that they do is not done at a snapshot. They do it over a 3-day period of time. And it's done with a electronic box that sits on a telephone pole and gets traffic in both directions.
Different times a day or throughout the day?
It does it constantly throughout those 3 days.
So a nonstop period of 3 days?
nonstop period of time.
And is that information available
Yes.
for review?
Yes, it is.
Who would I talk to then?
You can file a right to know to the manager's office.
Which could take months to do, or is
No, they
this
have 5 days to get you the information.
5 days?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments from the public? Name and address and 3 minutes speaking limit. Thank you.
Laura Lehman, 1431 Bryant Lane. I think the rule is that at the end of the meeting, they can talk about anything. And obviously, if they came to a meeting and they saw something that was an agenda item, they should be able to speak about that. So can we change that to make sure that the residents know that when they come up?
We'll get clarification on that.
I'm sorry?
We'll get clarification on that, but go ahead.
So you think that if somebody sat through an entire meeting and saw something in an agenda item that they wanted to speak about passionately, you think that they shouldn't be allowed? That it should be a non-agenda item only? There's something wrong with this, okay? When people come and sit through an entire meeting, which sometimes go 2 and 3 hours, and I've sat through meetings that were 4 hours, okay? They have the right to address you on any issue and we fought hard for that right. I would like to see you not take it away. So that's number one. Number two, I wonder how many other people did not alert anybody about the traffic signals, because very clearly, because of the input of the neighbors in this is going to be a better intersection. And only because of the input of the neighbors, because I think the main issues were being overlooked. So I wonder how many of you have had traffic control devices on the agenda but didn't tell your residents, any of the ones near it, any of the ones that use it, any of the ones that might be right in front of the stop sign or whatever you put up. Please change that if that's what you're doing. And those of you who say, well, we can contact our commissioners, no, we can't. Okay? I can give you lots of examples. Today, I did get some help from my commissioner, and I got an answer tonight from the bench from him. But all of you know that that's not often the case, and all of you could see, if you would like, my many emails that did not get answered or got incredible answers that you wouldn't want to see. Also, last time, when I talked about the bicycles, and one commissioner made a comment, well, maybe we should put a note in every single door in Abington. Okay, that's mocking the people that come to speak and care about a young kid who lost his bike and is about to lose it permanently, and there's a way he might have gotten it back. You all need to look inside your hearts and change what's going on here. And you have a great number of people that are willing to work with you. Don't sift them all out. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any other comments from the public? If there are none, I'll start with comments, closing comments from the commissioners, and we'll start with Commissioner Zappone.
Thank you. Just as a reminder to all Abington Township residents, the 7th annual Ardsley Family Day will get underway on September 21st from noon till 5. October 21st. Saturday, October 21st. This is a free event, so come out and enjoy our food, entertainment, and our car show. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Spiegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to remind everybody, this Saturday from 9 to noon, there is a county-sponsored paper shredding event. It is at the junior high. It's not at the township yards because this isn't a township event. It's a county one. At the junior high, 9 to noon on Saturday the 14th. And then next week is township-wide clean-out week. So you can put some extra bags of trash out with your normal trash pickup. You want to see the guidelines about what you can and can't put out, you can go to the township website under departments, refuse recycling, and then there's a whole page describing what you can put out to clean out your house for the fall, just like I've been doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Wanted to say a thank you to the Township's Shade Tree Commission, who is having a tree giveaway this Saturday. I believe all the trees have been claimed at this point, but they're going to put out 150 trees in the ground that was part of the Arbor Day Foundation and CSX giveaway for large canopy and medium canopy trees. So it will be, it's a great thing to get these in place. And I did want to thank not only Dr. Stevens and the entire Shade Tree Commission, but a resident of Jenkintown Manor, Mr. Chris Miller of Thorpe Road, who spearheaded getting about 50 of these trees allocated for that section of the township, and has worked with the neighbors to help select them, pick them out, and we'll be doing some planting on Saturday along with Commissioner DiPlacido and myself in that area. So should be a fun time and get some good stuff together. So I wanted to thank Chris Miller. The second item, some of you may be aware of this. I was going to send this to all the commissioners to help promote it. There will be a film event from a filmmaker and Philadelphia native, Andre Robert Lee, screening his film at the Highway Theater. His film is called I'm Not a Racist, Am I? It's a deconstructing race project film that really takes a hard-hitting look at modern race relations, and I'm told very insightful. I've not seen it myself, but look forward to it. That will be Thursday, November 2nd, 2017 at 6:30 p.m. at the Highway Theater, and you can purchase your tickets on their website. And again, I will share this out to all the commissioners so that they can send it to their constituents. And I believe there will be the filmmaker himself will be on hand to facilitate some open discussion following the film. So mark your calendars now, and I will get that out to everyone. And thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Rothman.
Thank you, President Luker. October 28th, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., the annual McKinley Halloween Parade. Same spot as always, down in the corner by McKinley Market, which I believe has a different name now, right? What is that name, Jimmy?
It's Anna's Corner Deli at McKinley Market.
Right, okay. So same place, to anyone who's listening, different name. Please come out for the parade, and then some goodies at the firehouse afterwards. Secondly, I failed to mention this last month, but I want to thank a few people. We have a new train that's in the playground at Albert Thorpe Park, and it was an interesting process for me to see how much work actually went into getting something that I thought would be pretty easy. But in the end, there was a lot of hard work that went into it. A lot of residents had expressed concern. The old train was infested, and we had to get rid of it suddenly, so people showed up one day and the beloved train was no longer there. But now we have a bee-proof train that is there. I want to thank Andy Oles. I want to thank you, Mr. Manfredi. Thank you very much. Ben Sanchez did a lot of work in helping me push this along, as well as Commissioner Spiegelman and DiPlacido. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Rothman. Commissioner Myers.
Thank you. I would really like to thank everyone that attended the Abington Powell Food Festival this past Tuesday night. I hope everyone had a great time. Especially want to thank all of the volunteers, the 50-some of them, that helped put this together and helped make that night work, and the many restaurants, the over 30 restaurants, mostly Abington restaurants, that participated and made it a terrific event for a really wonderful youth program in Abington. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Myers. Commissioner Brosnan.
Thank you. I just wanted to wish everybody a happy fall and be careful in the season out there. And also, please be reminded that school still is in session. Please be very mindful of going around flashing red lights on school buses. Please be safe, especially on Huntington Pike. Other than that, thank you, President Luker. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Schreiber.
No comment this evening.
Commissioner Bowman.
No comment.
Commissioner DiPlacido.
Thank you, President Luker. Ward 4 is going to have their first Coffee with the Cop, and it is also going to be at Anna's Corner Deli at McKinley Market, located at the corner of Cadwalader and Township Line Road. The event is this Saturday between 9 and 11, so stop by and join our own APD for a cup of joe, and please, if you're going to drive there, drive like your kids live here. Thank you, President Luker.
Thank you. Commissioner Tom Farron.
Thank you, President Luker. Just a couple of reminders. First and foremost, we have our 24th annual Halloween Fest going on in Keswick, October 28th from 3 to 5 p.m. It has grown every year. There are tons of kids out there. The businesses and the store owners make it a festive night, so please bring your kids down and have a good, fun experience. Tomorrow afternoon, actually, 4 o'clock, one of our residents has initiated a little free library, which, if you're not familiar with, is a little small house, basically, where you can take a book, drop off a book, and it's going to be right next to the bench in our on-leash dog park next to the Hallowell Field. So at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, we'll be inaugurating that, for lack of a better word. So I want to thank Teresa Deckelbach. She is a Ward 12 resident. She's also on the library board, so she is very active, and she is the one who initiated this. So thank you to her, and please join us. I want to thank Public Works. They receive emails from me that I feel like are pages long. I think it's sometimes more efficient, but I also think they cringe when they see my email. So I want to thank them for their patience and for their hard work. And part of that is the good work going on at Glenside Weldon, and it's become a Herculean task that started about a year or so ago. President Luker, our previous township manager, joined me with our school district, and I want to thank our school district for working with us. We're trying to improve that property. It is a central part of the community, and it has grown and expanded to people being involved. So I want to thank the commissioners involved. I want to thank the school district, Public Works, our police department. We have various neighbors who are coming out to multiple meetings in the morning and at night, so there's a lot of dedication there. It's all very much appreciated. And finally, I would just like to note again, tonight is our open house for Glenside Weldon. I think Commissioner Gillespie and other commissioners in the area always complain that our board meetings happen to be the same night as the open house for the firehouse near our communities. I don't know how to resolve that, but I would like to, I tried to sneak there in the past. I'd like to try to get there again, and I just want to make that note so maybe in the future we can find a way to work around that. It's a great event. Very proud of our volunteer firefighters at Glenside Weldon and in our township as a whole. And I just would like to see myself there longer than 5 minutes to see the trucks. I think the trucks are fun. I like the trucks probably more than my kids do, and I would like to spend some more time with them. So thank you, President Luker.
Thank you. Commissioner Hecker.
Thank you, President Luker. The Edge Hill Road Bridge Construction Project is rounding into its last stages, but before we get there, we are going to have another round of lane closures. Beginning Sunday evening from 9 p.m. through 5 a.m., and then again beginning Monday morning through Friday, both 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then they're going to take a break for rush hour, and the roads will be closed again from 9 p.m. through 5 a.m. So you may want to find an alternate route this week. It's going to be a little hectic, but knock on wood, this will be the last round of lane closures, I hope. Secondly, I wanted to thank Mr. Manfredi, Officer Freed, and the Abington Police Department for your work together in helping me address the traffic safety situation at London and Davidson Roads. When I first ran to represent the community 4 years ago, it was the first issue that was brought to my attention, and one that had been pressed by a number of residents in Brentwood. And one of our residents recently was involved in a pretty serious car accident there, which helped to spur on this conversation, which led to a great outcome. So I'm grateful to everyone involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Kalinowski.
Yes, it's probably too late, but tomorrow night is the Edge Hill Firehouse open house. And then Sunday, everyone's welcome to breakfast at the North Penn VFW. It's our annual Edge Hill Firehouse Pancake Breakfast. So that starts at 9, and everyone's welcome to come to that. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Klein.
No comment.
And lastly, myself, and I'd like to first announce that this coming Sunday, October the 15th, the Willow Grove chapter of the NAACP will hold its 43rd annual Freedom Fund Banquet at the Woodfields Country Club starting at 3:30 in the afternoon. And lastly, I wanted to thank Commissioner Schreiber and Lori Schreiber, and also Ken Clark, John Ward, Dave Schramm, and Township Manager Manfredi for bringing to our attention and formulating on Ordinance 2143 the information that we brought forward pertaining to the tax incentives for the members of the fire department and the second alarmers, resulting in our adoption of ordinance number 2143. It was well deserved, and I thank all those, and I think there was a Lisa Shelley, I believe, who was also very instrumental. So giving credit to all those who helped with that endeavor, I think it was very worthwhile, and I thank you all for that. And lastly, to conclude, there will be an executive session at the immediate conclusion of this meeting for the commissioners to discuss real estate matters.
One other thing.
So if there's any other business?
One other thing. Yeah, just wanted to announce it, remind everybody, we have a budget meeting next Wednesday, correct? At 7 o'clock here, the first budget meeting. Thank you. Is the budget available online now? Not yet? Okay.
And that'll be at 7 p.m., 7 p.m. in this room. Okay, if there's no other business, I thank everyone for attending, and
We could be
I'll
done in
entertain a motion
15
to
minutes.
adjourn.
So moved.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
John Spiegel with Plano Speak.